Over the past few decades, the city of Boise, Idaho has grown significantly. The people who live there believe it is a special place. Current Boise State football head coach Andy Avalos told SB Nation, "Everything you need from the city is in about a 3x3 mile space near downtown." As someone who was born and raised in New Jersey some 2,500 miles away, you would think I would never have thought of the city of Boise, Idaho. But as I was growing up, their football team was shocking the nation, and I became fascinated by the blue turf and their underdog attitude. This is the rise of Boise State football. Boise State originally started as a junior college and began playing football in 1933 under head coach Dusty Klein. Throughout their first decade, they did not find much success and actually stopped playing between 1942 to 1945 due to the reduced male population from World War II. They resumed playing football in 1946 and promoted Lyle Smith to be their head football coach in 1947. Smith would be the first coach to really find success at Boise State, leading the Broncos to a 31-game winning streak, and the team moved into a 10,000-seat stadium in 1950. When the Korean War broke out, Smith, who was undefeated as head coach at the time, was recalled by the Navy. George Blankley took over for Smith for most of the 1950 season and all of the 1951 season, leading the Broncos to a 16-2 record. Smith returned for the 1952 season, and after a 37-game win streak, suffered his first loss. Between 1947 and 1967, Boise State put together a 150, 25-6 record, under Smith winning 13 conference titles and the NJCAA National Football Championship. In 1968, Boise State moved up to a 4-year status and competed at the NAIA level before joining the NCAA in October of 1969 as a member of the Big Sky Conference. At the time, the Big Sky was a Division II conference, and under Tony Knapp, the Broncos won 3 consecutive conference titles between 1973 and 1975. Knapp compiled a record of 71-19-1. In 1976, Jim Kreiner took over as head coach and led Boise State to multiple conference titles, the transition to the Division I AA level, and the Broncos' first national title in 1980. In 1982, Kreiner left to take the Iowa State job, and Boise State would not have the same type of success under Lyle Satanich and Skip Hall. In 1986, they introduced a blue turf, and in 1994, under Pokey Allen, they returned back to the national title game. Unfortunately, Allen would pass away from cancer in 1996, the same year the Broncos joined the Big West Conference and made the move up to the Division I-A level. Houston Nutt took over as head coach in 1997, leading the Broncos to a 4-7 record, beating Idaho and Moscow for the first time since 1981. Nutt would leave after the season to take the Arkansas head coaching job as well. Dirk Koetter took over as head coach after serving as the Oregon offensive coordinator, and in 3 seasons he led Boise State to a 26-10 record and 2 Big West titles before the Broncos jumped to the Western Athletic Conference in 2001. After the 2000 season, Koetter took over as head coach of Arizona State. Dan Hawkins would be promoted from offensive coordinator to head coach, and from 2001 to 2005 he put together a 53-11 record, which included a 37-3 record in conference, 4 WAC titles, a record 31-game conference winning streak, and 2 WAC Coach of the Year awards over a 3-year period. He had 3 top 25 finishes, won 10 or more games 3 times, and won 2 bowl games. After the 2005 season, Hawkins would leave to take the Colorado job. Enter Chris Petersen. At this point, Boise State had been a successful program at every level, but was not fully the national brand it would become under Petersen. As someone who grew up on the East Coast, this school in Idaho wrapped me up as a young fan with their blue turf and amazing upsets. Chris Petersen played college football at the University of California, Davis, and began his coaching career there as a freshman coach in 1987. He then became the wide receivers coach before moving across the country to Pittsburgh to serve as their quarterback coach in 1992. In 1993, he moved back to the West Coast, coaching quarterbacks at Portland State under Tim Walsh. He helped the Vikings make the Division II playoffs in 1993 and 1994 before taking the wide receiver coach position at Oregon. In 2001, Petersen was named the offense coordinator at Boise State. In 2003, the offense peaked, scoring a school-best 602 points en route to a 13-1 season. Quarterback Ryan Dinwiddie threw for 4,356 yards and 31 touchdowns. Running back David McKell ran for 1,142 yards and 13 touchdowns, and wide receiver Tim Gilligan had 1,192 yards and 6 touchdowns. Coder and Hawkins got the ball rolling, raising the school's profile on the national stage, but Peterson kicked the door down and made Boise State a household name. Former Boise State running back Ian Johnson spoke on the transition, saying, "We trusted him and knew he would take care of us. We knew he was a great person. He was going to recruit people just like himself. We waited for him to get everybody here, and he got them in with the perfect people." I just want to take a second and ask, if you are enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more college football content, and let me know your favorite college football team in the comment section below. The Peterson era started off with a bang, with Ian Johnson rushing for 1,713 yards and 25 touchdowns, while Jared Zabransky threw for 2,587 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Boise State started the season 12-0. They became the second non-automatic qualifying conference team to make a BCS Bowl, with Utah doing the same in 2004. Throughout the season, Peterson earned a reputation for his bold play calling, and the Fiesta Bowl was nothing different. The Broncos went into the game as heavy underdogs. No one was giving them the chance to win the game. For most of the game, they actually led, but as the clock wound down in the fourth quarter, they found themselves trailing, and on 4th and 18, Peterson called a hook and ladder play, which was described as stunning and resulted in a 50-yard touchdown. Now, I may be wrong, but this may be the reason every coach has this play in their playbook at the youth and high school levels now. This tied the game with 7 seconds left and forced it into overtime. On 4th and 2, Peterson called an option pass, which was a direct snap to the wide receiver. Down 1, Boise State decided to go for 2, and one of the most famous plays of all time occurred.
Boise State for the win. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won.
Final score, Boise State 43, Oklahoma 42. After the game, Peterson told the media, "We were trying to get it in earlier, to tell you the truth. We needed a play like that to get it over with." While Boise State had finished a few undefeated seasons at this point, this was their true coming out party. In 2007, Boise State went 10-3, losing to Washington in Week 2 and back-to-back games to end the season to Hawaii and East Carolina in the Hawaii Bowl. In 2008, led by a young Kellen Moore, Boise State returned to the national stage, going on the road and upsetting number 17 Oregon in Eugene. Throughout the season, they blew most teams out, climbing up to the 9th in the rankings, but did not earn a bid to a BCS Bowl, instead settling for the Poinsettia Bowl, where they lost a heartbreaker to TCU. They entered the 2009 season as one of the youngest college teams in the nation. They entered the year as the 16th best team in the nation and upset Oregon 19-8 at home. The second year in a row, they beat the highly ranked Ducks. They would go on to have an undefeated season, slowly climbing up the rankings, being ranked as high as 5th in the nation, but finished 6th during the final BCS poll. Boise State got hit with the narrative that they played an extremely easy schedule, and this marked the 4th time in 6 years they finished the regular season undefeated. The young FBS program had already collected 7 WAC titles and returned to the venue where they broke onto the national stage only a few years prior. They faced another undefeated team in TCU, a matchup I talked about in a video a few days ago, and beat the Horned Frogs 17-10, getting revenge for the previous year's Poinsettia Bowl. Boise State came into the 2010 season as the 3rd best team in the nation and opened up against a Tyrod Taylor-led Virginia Tech team that was the 13th best team in the nation. And it was a neutral site game that took place in Landover, Maryland. They won 33-30 and started the season 10-0, spending some time as the 2nd best team in the nation. Yet the media continued to not give the Broncos credit. Robert Smith went on the BCS show and said, "I'm trying to keep an open mind about all this, but I'm not so sure if Boise State plays Virginia Tech today, they beat them." Todd Kaufman from Bleacher Report summed up how many felt, saying, "For whatever reason, most people wanted to say that while Oregon got better last season, Boise State stayed the same," which is just not true. By the same token, those same people will say that Virginia Tech is much improved, which they are, but so is Boise State. Play that game on a neutral field, or as I told Kuster yesterday, even play it in Virginia Tech's home field, and the result isn't any different. Do you hear ESPN saying the exact same things about other teams around the country, or trying to discredit any other team in college football? No. And that's why I don't see how Robert Smith can say, "I want to keep an open mind," and then try to discredit them. Boise State would drop their first game in almost 2 years to Nevada in a heartbreaker on the road, 34-31, but finished the season out strong, beating Utah State and then number 20 Utah in the bowl game. From 1997 to 2010, Boise State had the highest winning percentage, going 144-32, which is a .818 win percentage, a program that made the Division 1A jump in 1996. In 2011 and 2012, they went 12-1 and 11-2, winning the Mako Bowl 3 years in a row. 2013 marked the last season of the Chris Petersen era in Boise, and was also their worst season, as Boise State went 8-5 and lost the Hawaii Bowl to Oregon. Petersen would take the Washington job and finish his Boise State coaching career, leading the Broncos to a 92-12 record and 5 conference championships. Brian Harsin was named the next head coach of Boise State and returned to the Fiesta Bowl, where they beat number 12 Arizona 38-30 to cap off a 12-2 season, his first season. Boise State has not been back to a New Year's Six Bowl since 2014, but has continued to remain a consistent program. Before Harsin left to take the Auburn job, he had led Boise State to a 69-19 record, a 3-2 record in bowl games, and won 3 conference titles, 5 division titles, and finished in the final AP poll 4 times. This past season, Boise State had their worst season since 1998, their 3rd year as an FBS program. The Petersen era brought me in as a casual Boise State fan that, when flipping through the channels on a Saturday night, makes me want to stop and watch them. The blue turf may not be loved by all fans, but I think it's a perfect marketing tool. The young program that has been a part of the FBS for just over 25 years has learned to do more with less, keep stability with their coaching changes, and made matchup nightmares through different motions during their rise in the mid to late 2000s. The school in Boise, Idaho is a national brand and a team you can never sleep on. Just ask Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State last year. What do you think? What led to Boise State's immediate success at the FBS level? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and check out one of my other videos the algorithm knows you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.